Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. Namaste, everyone. A very warm welcome to Satsang today. Sadhguru Sri Mujiji ki Jai. Maybe the trouble sometimes is that we made it too simple. It's too simple. And the mind loves complexity. It's no fun because I just say, all you have to do is don't buy your next thought. And you are free now. Can we not buy this one next thought? Is it that difficult? And then what happens? Some very glorious thoughts can come. Oh, is this freedom? No, not even this one. Can I do this forever? Can I just be like this? We buy something which again makes a pretend person out of us. The end of suffering is this simple. You cannot suffer without believing a thought. You can try, you have tried. Just naturally, we can be in pain. There can be this sensation of pain experience in the body. But even this pain we cannot suffer from unless we buy a thought about it. But it is the thought itself which comes with a lot of doubts. But what about this? What about my bills? What about my life? What about my plans? What about my family? It's the same old stuff. For thousands and thousands of years, we've dealt with the same old stuff. I like to say, no, that when we read talks with Ramana from the 1930s, it's the same stuff. The questions are just the same. We could have said 2016 and the questioner could be there and the question could just be the same. What about my responsibilities? What about my life? Where are all of those people now? Yeah. Gone. The ones that were asking the questions in the 1930s mostly are gone. So what's the big deal about their responsibilities and their bills? Same thing here. Another 100 years, all of us gone. Is it really worth it to buy into our thoughts, to go into this temporal realm of personhood when over and over every day we say, don't believe your next thought? You can turn it on. Whose is it? I don't know. Is it mine? It's from the laptop. Ah, okay. And it's not
Father,
so.
what about if you're...
Yeah, say.
Sorry. I was just thinking about the thought, the next thought. What if it's a happy thought?
Yes. I saw this question. This is good. So when you check, you will find that you don't need the happy thought to be happy. Happiness is more natural than that. You see, just now you will find that there is a natural happiness, there is a natural peace, natural joy, which is inescapable. You see, so the mind itself might come and say, but you need the happy ones to be happy. You see, but
Hmm.
this again, even the so-called happy thought is false because it is premised on the idea that you exist as a person. And this idea must dissolve, you see. Because as long as we are believing something which is false, it is bound to lead to suffering. And then we are going through this roller coaster of life, you see,
Right.
with the ups
So what?
and the downs. So even we don't need our happy thoughts. We don't need our happy thoughts to be happy. Happiness is our natural state.
So what if I've been noticing that I'm happy and then I have thoughts about it? So they're nice thoughts, but then I'm wondering if I'm supposed to bat them out of the park, like that baseball analogy that somebody posted.
Yeah.
And they feel good. The thoughts feel good, and they come out of the natural happy place. It's just like, oh, I'm happy, and oh, then I have thoughts about it.
But if you look at even the happy thoughts, who are they speaking to? You see? So what happens is we are trying to come out of the habit of believing this voice in our head, which is pretending to be my voice. You see? And it's like saying that if I'm addicted to smoking, then can I smoke a certain type of cigarettes? What are they called? E-cigarettes or something?
Oh, the
Uh,
vapor cigarettes. Yeah,
electric, electric. You see?
yeah.
So, so although they might be helpful, seemingly helpful to come out of the addiction, even eventually even these must be let go of. You see, so if you were to give me the choice and say between terrible thoughts and happy thoughts, what should I believe? I'll say obviously believe the happy thoughts. But I have to also say that your happiness is not dependent on happy thoughts. And eventually even these have to be let go of because they are not conveying the truth about what you are. And anything which is believed about the false then has the potential for suffering. So, take an example of a happy thought.
Okay, a happy thought is I was at the ocean today and I started to watch the sunset. That was happy. It was nice.
Yes, yes. Now, what happens is that the experiencing of the sunset and the ocean was happening irrespective of the thought, and even the
Yes,
joy and the bliss
that's
or
true.
whatever was coming up was happening spontaneously. You see, but this
Yeah.
imaginary friend, it wants to come in and participate in this. It says, "Oh, this is so nice. We are looking at these things. We are looking at the ocean. You see, and the
Yeah.
sunset." And very quickly, as we start to buy into this, maybe the next day it'll say, maybe the ocean is not looking as clean as it was yesterday. You see, and because our habit is to buy thoughts, then we start to buy thoughts like this also. The sunset, isn't the air getting more polluted today than it was yesterday? This kind of stuff can come.
Yeah, it's more cloudy today. Yesterday it was clear. Today it's more cloudy. Maybe it'll rain. Yeah.
Exactly. It is just like this, the experiencing of the flower. The experiencing of the flower is just the experiencing of the flower. I don't need a thought to experience it. And yet you will notice that the thought will try to come up with its opinions about the flower, which are completely not needed to experience it. You see, so the beauty is experienced, and the joy which comes with the experiencing of the beauty is also there. So we don't need the participation of our mind
Mm.
truly
Mm.
to experience any situation in life, good or bad. So we'll just watch like this. You can see any object and how quickly the mind tries to come in with the interpretation and the judgment about it. And you'll find that the experiencing of the object is not dependent on what the thought is saying about it.
It seems so. I'm not sure if I can put this in words, but like I'm observing what's around me, and if there are no thoughts, then it's all pleasant. It's like, okay, this is nice. Everything's nice. It's quiet, peaceful. I like my place. I have a lot of freedom in my life. I can go on and on about all the nice things, but then there's this like force field or something that just wants to kind of move in and take over. I don't know, or something.
Yes. Even the confirmations we don't need. You see, sometimes it can happen that we look around, everything is so just what it is, and the mind will come and say, give you a confirmation, yes, this is so nice, I'm so peaceful, things are so happy now. You see, and because we are used to these mental confirmations, something still relies on getting this. You see, and this can lead to some sort of trouble. I'll tell you why. Because I am
Okay.
telling you that you are free now. You see, usually this is not accepted because we are waiting for a mental confirmation also to come. So he is saying that you are free now. What do you think? And the mind says, oh, because he loves you, he's saying like this. Or because, something. It'll come and say, but you're not there yet. I saw you outside Satsang and you were so angry and you were so upset. You see,
Yes, yes, yes,
this mind will come
yes, yes. Just an hour ago, something was happening like that.
exactly because we are used to waiting for mental confirmation for everything, including our peace. You see, so if we buy the thought, oh, this is so nice, it's peaceful, then we are just giving more and more value to this habit. We're giving meaning to these noises in our head, to this energy in our head, called thought. And I know it feels a bit wobbly,
It is.
when we
It feels
go of
lovely.
this, even the positive reinforcement or the affirmations which many practice, when we let go of even these positive affirmations, then it can seem a bit wobbly for a while. But this wobbliness is the doorway to freedom. A little bit of shakiness. If it is happening, it's good.
Hmm.
Actually, they say that in yoga also, by the way. Don't they say yoga that if your body starts shaking like this, then don't worry about it. It's good. It's actually
Ah.
good. Out some tendency, some conditioning, something from the book. It's adjusting. It's adjusting. So like
Hmm.
this, some wobbliness can come, and if this shakiness is there, don't be fearful of it. You see, because the mind itself will come and say, "This is so scary. What's going to happen to you? You can't live without your happy thoughts. You've been affirming to yourself these happy things, and that's what's kept you sane, or something, something." It can keep going on and on, but we don't.
Yes.
You see, we
It
don't
has
need.
kept me. It has kept me sane up until now.
Yes, but who can? The thing is, the problem is that it's always
Oh.
based on a pretense of you, which is not real. And the unreal, more it is believed in, the more potential for suffering there is. You see? So we cannot be believing our thoughts without picking up the idea that I exist personally. And at the root of all of this, and we must look at this together, at the root of
Okay.
all of this is the idea that I come to satsang to become a happy person or a certain type of person, a peaceful person, a happy person. This is what I want. Now, if this idea still remains, then this idea is also going to be squeezed out of you. And this is not a happy squeezing usually. You see? So, because we don't come to satsang, at least this type of satsang, to become happy people, not to become shining happy people or something like that. You see? We come to satsang to discover that which we truly are in any way, which cannot give meaning to this personal existence, although it is not in resistance to it. There's a beautiful allowing of all things to appear and disappear, but it cannot believe itself to be personal in any way. This is the end of suffering, and it is here now. So we reinforce the false idea with our belief, and whether belief is in happy or unhappy, the belief is always about a person which I believe myself to be.
Hmm.
So what is going to happen is that for many of us, what happens is we come to satsang and initially it seems so happy, there's more space, there's more light, there's more peace, and it feels like this is good. But as you keep coming to satsang, you will keep encountering me asking you who you are. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? You'll keep encountering this question. So, and the mind will want to hang on to, but I'm happy as a person now. Why you keep asking who are you? You see, and something
Right.
doesn't like because there can be some fear which comes with this. Something can feel like some stability is getting shaken up.
Hmm.
You see, so that
Yeah.
same satsang environment, which seemed to give us some happiness, peace, space personally, is now seeming to attack this person directly. Seeming to attack this person because this person actually doesn't exist. And my interest is not in giving you some temporary band aid, you see. I don't want to give you some temporary band aid and say, oh, this is good, it feels good. You see,
Hmm. Yeah.
I want to
It
take the
ties in.
false, you see, I want to remove this cancer of personhood.
Hmm.
Mhm. So, so sometimes it can seem very, very strong. It can seem very crushing to the ego, even. So,
Yeah.
and this also must be allowed to get released. But as long as we are believing two voices, one is the voice which speaks in satsang, and the second is the voice of this false teacher that we've had inside our head for so long, you see, then it will not be the end of the personhood. It will be the elongation of this so-called spiritual journey. And then a few years later, you might be coming to satsang and saying, but I've been in satsang for a few years and nothing has happened. I haven't found the freedom. I haven't found myself to be this awareness that you speak about. I still feel like I'm Lucia or I'm a person. You see,
Uh-huh.
if you listen to both these voices, then it is the stretching out of this non existent journey and it seems to be stretched out in time. Because right now, without any thought, who are you? That is what we are looking at.
And I don't know. When you asked, I don't
And this I
know.
don't
But
know is very beautiful. Don't be fearful of this I don't know.
oh,
In fact, it is the coming from this I know I'm a person to the I don't know, which is which seems more difficult in the spiritual journey for most. Because we are so convinced that we are this name and form that to come to this I don't know seems to stretch out for a long while for many. So if you're in this I don't know, then don't be fearful of this because this is very beautiful. Now this I don't know, the mind is very scared of. So it might try to give you some candy now to say, come back, I'm not so bad. I have happy thoughts for you. Come. You see? And this it tries to lure you in. Like Guruji says, the mafia, which says, I'll protect you. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to protect you. But you try leaving and it becomes very, very scary again. So don't buy into this candy which the mind is selling to you. because it is scared of this I don't know. It knows that from this I don't know, a true recognition, a true realization will appear. So it tries to take you away from the I don't know who I am back into personhood, saying, okay, but now I'm a happy person and that's all I wanted. It's not true.
It's not true. No, it isn't true. It's not true.
Because the
No.
urge is deeper than that. The urge is to discover what we truly are, which is prior and beyond any sense of happiness or unhappiness. It is accepting, and in this accepting and allowing, there can be a natural sense of peace and happiness. But it's not personal. There's nothing personal about this.
Hmm. Does this connect to what you've been saying, and Muji says about I was never born,
Yes,
and and that one's been driving me nuts all weekend because I have a direct experience of that we don't die because
yes,
I communicate with people who were in the physical and who are no longer physically here. I can talk to my father who's passed on for 10 years, and other people, I talk to them. So I know we don't die. I say, all right, I don't die, great. But the I was never born thing, oh my God, what's that about?
so if you don't die, is it possible to be born actually? I feel in your question itself, the answer is there.
It's
Unless
that
there is death, can there be birth?
I don't know why it's just not
Because if this one is eternal, then can there be birth or death for this one?
mentally. I know the right answer, mentally. I don't have a direct experience of
It,
that.
yes. Actually, this is our experience, but we don't have yet the confirmation that this is true.
Hmm.
Because that which we are always has been, you see, that which is aware of all the states which are coming and going, and itself is not coming and going. That is what we most naturally are.
Hmm.
That which has seen, even in this seeming lifetime, has seen so many bodies and so many realms, and so many experiences have happened. You see, in this waking, and so many different dream states, and this so called waking state, which is just another dream state. You see, and also it has experienced nothingness, no phenomenal appearance has also been experienced. You see, so often. So we see that something can be born, the sense of presence, the sense of consciousness can be born and can dissolve. But that which witnesses it is not taking birth or dying.
It seems incredibly boring.
Yes, but to who?
I'm not sure. Well, I can sort of conceptually step back and experience that eternal being. I've been there. And then it's like, oh, this is so boring. Why would I want to hang out here?
Yes, so this can be said in two ways. One is a very primal way, you see, where if you're all there is no birth or death for you, and nothing can ever happen to you, and you're just everywhere, and you're not phenomenal, you see, then what's all of this about?
Yeah, exactly.
This is why I say that my favorite reason, which is not true, but you have to give a reason to things just because we have to say something, you see. But so my favorite reason when someone asks, so what is the point of the creation of this universe? I say because it was too boring. I wanted some entertainment. Yes. Yeah. So then we created this play, this phenomenal experiencing in which I pretended to be this person and playing out in all of this adventure called life with all its ups and downs, with all its seeming bondage and freedom. You see? So if you're speaking from there saying, but if I'm all there is and there is nothing actually, you see, and yet I'm here and nothing is moving, nothing is changing, maybe I need to buy a TV or something, create some entertainment in front of me. So this whole phenomenal experiencing is the TV of awareness. The movie screen in which all of this is playing out, just because it's too boring. But what I was saying earlier,
Yeah.
what I wanted to point out and stress on more, because many times as you are coming to the recognition of what you are, the mind comes in with these things saying, but do you really want this? This is so empty and this is boring. You will just become a vegetable. You will not
Mhm.
have any enthusiasm. You will not have any wonder left in life. But this is not the actual experience of the sages. They actually find that every moment is full of so much wonder and joy and peace. When we drop all these expectations and fears, guilt and remorse, pride, arrogance, specialness, when all of this is gone, the stories that we have about ourselves when they are gone, when we don't know anything at all, then there's so much wonder in every moment. It's so much joy, you see. So that is the voice I was cautioning against, which can come and say, but this is so boring. You see?
But the voice that answered was the one that would buy a television to to watch because it's so boring. But I do know I have met other sages who all are apparently blissed out most of the time.
I actually haven't met anyone who's blissed out all the time.
Mm. No.
I actually haven't met anyone, and maybe that is great grace because here it's not this feeling of being blissed out all the time.
What's it like?
It's very much more natural than that. It's just everything is allowed. I don't, I cannot say that there is a strong experience of bliss in every instant. All states are allowed to come and go very naturally. And yet, what I see myself to be in reality is untouched by any of these states. And also, there is a recognition that everything phenomenal is coming and going. And anytime there is this belief or attachment in something, then it is setting up for failure because I know that this is a temporal field. You see? So it is going. So if I attach to something here as me or mine, then that is bound to cause suffering because it will come and go. So if I attach even to the sensation of bliss when it comes, it is seen often enough that even this is coming and going. So if I give it the idea that it should always be like this, or for me now it is always like this, then I know when it goes, the mind itself will come and say, see now, you lost your freedom. Where's the bliss? And it is that's why I said it is good news that I haven't met anyone who just blissed out all the time because the mind would say, see, this is the true sage. He's always in bliss.
Uh-huh.
Now, what can be a bit confusing is that this state of simple allowing itself, non resistive allowing, is a very deep peace. You see? So, this peace can be confused to be like a phenomenal of something. You see? So, when the sage says, I'm always at peace, he is not talking about this sense of phenomenal tasting of peace. Ah, it's so peaceful, peaceful. Not like this. You see? It's just so much peace because everything is allowed, nothing is
Yes.
resisted. So this is a deeper peace. You see?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
That
this,
makes
if you
sense.
mean, then yes, this is the constant experience even here, except for momentary buttons getting pressed and thrown away once in a while. I have to say that mostly the experience is non-resistive, not personal. Mostly the experience here is not personal and the simple allowing of everything to come and go.
And there's a deep sense of ease about that, apparently.
Yes,
If you're
ease
just
is a very good
allowing.
word. Yes,
So if there's anger that comes, there's an ease because it comes and it goes.
yes. I feel ease is a very good word.
Oh,
I feel I'll use this word more often because there's a deep sense of ease. It is not a struggle with life. It is not a resisting with life in any way.
I like ease.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess it was a thought said, okay, so where are we now? Like it's that, I don't know, the one who tracks. I guess it's the
This
therapist in
one,
me always wanting to
arch,
track.
the checker guy,
The
checker
checker.
man. Checker man is my arch nemesis. You see?
I have a
Now, what
checker woman.
checker woman and
Hmm.
checker
Yeah,
person
checker
is my
person.
arch.
Yeah, monitor. She monitors what's going on.
Yes.
Okay, so where are we now?
How many thoughts are we
Where?
believing? You were a good boy today, a good girl today. You believed only 10 thoughts. You see, this report card, this
Right,
creating content.
right. So there. So now there's this there's a feeling that came up of, well, what do I do now? What do I, you know, we've had this nice conversation, and now what do I do with this new insight? Like I have to go study it. Like when I get off the, out of the hangout, then I'm going to listen to this again and study it.
Yes, this is natural for it to happen initially because the strongest leg for the ego is the leg of doership.
Huh.
Without doership, without this sense that what do I do now, this ego actually cannot survive. You see, this table just the table of the ego just falls down without the leg of doership. So it's very natural for it to try and retain itself by saying, okay, what is the plan now? What do I do now? This was very nice. What do I do now? You see?
Yeah.
Now, as long as there's a sense that I can do something, then we can do two things. One is we can just not believe our next thought, or second, we can self inquire and ask, who am I? Who is the doer? Who is the I that should do something?
Hmm.
So as long as there's a sense that of doership which still seems strong, then we can either not believe our next thought, which seems like a doing, but I know it seems like a doing, so we can do this, or we can do the self inquiry, which is also actually not a doing, but it can seem like it. So, with these, either of these, then you come to this place to see that there is no doer at all. So, the question when it comes, what do I do now? It just becomes laughable, just like every other thought. It becomes laughable. You see? So till it has become laughable, we can just not believe our next thought, or we can just inquire into what I truly am.
And the answer still is I don't know.
Yes. Is there a I that doesn't know? Because you say, when you say I don't know, what you're actually saying is I know that there is an I that doesn't know. You see?
There is an I that doesn't know. Yes, there is an I that doesn't know.
Okay, so who is this I that doesn't know?
Oh my goodness. Uh,
And it's not hard work actually like this. The point is, but this is so heavy, and this is just so frustrating because we're used to trying to figure it out with the mind. We're used to trying to figure it out with the mind, and this is unfathomable for the mind. The mind has no chance here. You see? So when the question comes like this, which now seems so easy and natural here, I remember there was a time where the same reaction would come, but what is this I? Or even what is this I am? It's so frustrating. I just can't find it. I can't figure it out. I know this feeling. And at some level, it's good because the mind, this one should give up. You see? The one that is trying to figure it out should give up. And then it just becomes very simple looking. I know. You say, I know that there is an I who doesn't know who I am. To the mind, these words are so complicated. You see, these words are so complicated to the mind. But very simply, we're just looking at you saying, I don't know who I am. But right at the beginning, there's an I, you see, that doesn't know who it is. So we know this I, but it is not known mentally. We cannot make a picture out of it. And that is what becomes frustrating to the mind. Because the mind wants to give us a good answer, maybe a good diagram to go with the answer, so that we can get full marks on this question, who am I? But it is not that. It is not a test question like that. It is only an encouragement to look, not an encouragement to think. Just an encouragement to look. Who is it that is here now? Who am I?
There's such a sense of frustration right now.
Yes, but the good thing about the inquiry is that anything coming up can be used in the inquiry. So you say so much frustration is coming. I don't hear that as something bad actually. I say this is an opportunity to check who witnesses this frustration. Is that also frustrated?
No, it's not.
Yes. So are you that frustration or are you the witness of it primarily?
Well, at the moment, I am the witness of it.
Yes. Now try to not be the witness and become the content. How will you do it?
Well, it's almost like entering back into that. There's like this sensation, this energy of frustration. So it's sort of
Yeah.
like diving back in there.
Okay, do it. Let's see it.
Okay. I can't do it now.
You can never do it. It's only an idea that I can do it. The
Oh.
witnessing is always just the witnessing itself. It only seems like I went back into the personal, into the person, but no person has actually ever existed. Only our attention can go to this content, but that to which attention is reporting is not fixated with it, is not stuck in it, is not bound by it. It is only the thoughts which will tell you that now you are stuck in this stuff, and you have the power to pretend by believing these thoughts. But in reality, you could never be stuck. Therefore, nowhere for you to go. You are here already as that awareness.
There's distractions that come up, like memories, and suddenly,
Yes, yes.
instead of me
So we,
frustrated, there's some memories that pop up.
yes, but we can use even that. Say this distraction is coming up, this memory is coming up. who is witnessing that? Is the witnessing also distracted? You see, so everything coming up. Actually, this world is dual purpose. If the urge is to play as a person, then everything that comes up in the world we can use to take personally and to get deeper in the personal idea. You see? But if the
Mm-hmm.
urge is to now discover who we are, then everything that is appearing in the world can be used to point back at the witnessing of it and to check who is it that sees this and to come to our true realization of the self. You see, so same world, same content can be there, but depending on the urge, it can be used differently.
Well, the urge is to be free, for sure. It's already, it's beyond. I want to be happy, and I don't want to suffer anymore. I mean, I don't want to suffer anymore, and I want to be happy. But the stronger urge is, I want to be free. I want to, I want to know that I'm free. Put it that way.
Yes, yes, I know this because you cannot come to. My feeling is that if the urge were just for some superficial or phenomenal happiness, then you would not be here for the second satsang. After the first, something would get so tortured. This idea of personhood would get so tortured that you will never want to come back to the second satsang. So because you're here so often, then I know it cannot just be about some superficial sense of happiness. Because
That's not.
the sense of personhood who wants this sense of being happy, it is pure torture to be in satsang because it doesn't like the question, who am I? It doesn't like these these things which we are saying, which is that you don't exist as a person. You are truly non-phenomenal, and all these appearances don't matter. They don't have meaning. You see, so it doesn't like the sense of personhood doesn't like this. So if you can come again for satsang, that means there must be a primal urge here for some freedom. You see,
Hmm. Hmm.
but this actually doesn't mean that if you're coming for a few satsangs, doesn't mean that you will come to the end of your conditioning. Although that is my blessing that all of you come to the end of your conditioning, but sometimes we cross something, like we might have a spiritual experience or an awakening experience or some spiritual experience, and something says, I want to take ownership of this. This was so good. I have discovered that I am God. You see? So it wants to use that as fresh conditioning. And then after coming to these kind of experiences, we might get seemingly waylaid from the end of all conditioning because then we start adding new conditioning about ourselves, which is specialness, arrogance, pride, just spiritual ego, basically, which is the most common reason people stop coming to satsang is because they believe that they have become special people now. I would go as far as to say that these seemingly leave satsang because of specialness than actually leave satsang because of true contentment and realization of the self.
Well,
It can also be that there comes a time where all of these words, which seem so blissful and nice, then start seeming boring and dull and same. You see, so the mind can also come with this kind of resistance and say, but he's just saying the same stuff. You see, so it comes with this kind of resistance also and says, okay, enough. I feel you've got enough now. Now you can be independent. You don't need this anymore, and that can be genuinely true also. But the genuinely true is rare. Mostly it is a mind trap which gets us. Anyway, we'll talk more one day about all the pitfalls which can come
okay.
on this
All right.
journey.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
So much.
Father, can I come up?
Yes, you can come, my dear.
Namaste, Father.
Namaste, namaste.
So, Father, since yesterday something needs to be exposed, I couldn't be on the hangout yesterday. Sorry about that.
It's okay. It's okay. See, but
Sorry, Father, I can't hear you.
I said that you have to work hard to get there. You are almost meditating on what was bothering you yesterday so that you can bring it out now. Is it true?
No, Father, actually, I'm not able to form any question. It's
Yes.
just a little, uh, it's just an identity which has been, I think it's when it's really seen like a play, but there is some investment in it, and more than the actual playing, when that happens, it's more of a mental torture later to trying to push it out or trying to inquire into the identity. And and the moment that time comes to inquire into that identity, there is a lot of resistance. And just as yesterday, how I was seeing Radha going through that, not trying to see it. So, in following it up with her, it was very clear suddenly that there was no me, yet there is this, it's like another trap, Father, that as I'm talking to you, that I'm feeling that it's more like, you want it out. So it's more like a clearing that the mind is trying to do. But because of the very strong class of this way of being that I've lived, and, trying to cover it up and put it under the carpet also. And so it's just getting too much. I just want it to go now. It's it's like not
You want it to go
serving, and
now.
the one who wants it to go is also the
Has to
same.
go. Yes.
It is because if I see it just as a witness without really giving it a thought, that it's nothing. It's just like a play, but it's like a trap, and I don't want to indulge in it anymore.
Yes, but don't indulge in this I anymore.
Father, this I am not able to inquire into. The moment I do, it just gets I get scared to touch it. Or I don't know, Father, is it that I need to inquire into it or surrender it or just let it be? It's come to a point of confusion now because it's still there, and it's punching me in my face every day. And it's been like now 2 weeks that allowing did not work, surrendering did not work, and inquiry not happening.
Yes.
I did surrender that. I messaged you, but it just seems to be playing too much. I got up at 4 in the morning with that reporter. And for the first time, Father, when you said yesterday, shoot the reporter, and in the morning, I got up at 4 o'clock with this the real exposed reporter who's been reporting all throughout the life, like, for everything.
Yes.
it just got so clear that there's been this reporter reporting all my life.
And the reporter is reporting that the reporter has been reporting all my life.
Yes. Yes.
It's so sneaky, you know. It's not only a reporter, it's one of those undercover reporters, investigative. Maybe you can give him out to Bharat, no? He might use him in the news business.
Father, there's this confusion that the one who's surrendering or the one who's
And he's in
trying,
the fire this reporter. And
this I'm giving to you, Father, not to Bharat. He'll return it back to me.
yes, yes. It's a deal.
Father, can you clear this for me, please? This one who's trying to inquire and who's trying to surrender is also a part of the same play.
Yeah.
And that is clear, but somehow not completely convinced. The other day, when you made us do this meditation, something beautiful was revealed, and it just, in the space of the being, and then everything arising, everything like this world, universe, and then there was this whole awareness of it. It was very clear, but it was very, it came like a visual, literally. So I felt it was the mind, and then, I got confused with it. That it's, but something is still clear that, there's some space which sees everything as a play. So why do we surrender or why do we inquire when it's it's in the same play?
It is a surrender, the inquiry, which are parts of the play, which are only, I wouldn't say only, but mostly the only parts of the play where beingness is disassociating itself with conditioning. Where beingness is coming to the recognition of its source. Most other parts of the play are about conditioning being added, new ideas and concepts about ourselves. It is in the inquiry or the simple surrender that this conditioning is being removed and new conditioning is not being included. You see? So there are very few parts of the play that are supportive to the dropping of the condition and inquiry and surrender are the best, most direct means for the dropping of this, both for the recognition of the truth as well as the dropping of the conditioning. All that is needed is the self inquiry, or we can say all that is needed is surrender. Either of these are sufficient. So, what is the meaning of surrender? Let's look at it very closely. So, what happens is that the moment, the now is our best friend. So, in the now, I am unassociated presence. I amness. Right now, this is true for all of us. Now, anything that we take on personally becomes a condition on this I am. It can be I am being lazy, I am feeling terrible, I have become ugly. All these ideas that we take on are just pretenses that are being added on to the pure presence I am, which is available right now. Now, what happens in surrender? We say it is all my God's problem, my master's problem, my father's problem. What does it mean? I am not adding anything to the I am. I am not free, God's problem. I am feeling ugly, God's problem. I am being lazy, God's problem. So in this surrender, nothing is actually getting added to the I am. No pretenses are being associated with the I amness. And being remains unassociated. So we are discussing something very rare actually. We are discussing the mechanics of surrender. How does surrender work? The mechanics of surrender are just this. Everything is surrendered at the feet of the master. Therefore, nothing is attached to me, to this sense of I amness. You see? So then being remains unassociated as being itself. And nothing is taken on to this I am. Therefore, only presence remains. And this unassociated presence is completely free. Even with the pretenses, it's free, but it is the pretenses that we are getting rid of in satsang. So if you surrender now and say everything is God's, then your being remains unassociated with all this conditioning, all these concepts, and you are free. This is the end of conditioning. We cannot even add the condition I am surrendered to God. You see, nothing must be added to I am. That is true surrender. And what gets added to I am is only these thoughts. Only belief in thoughts is the adding of conditioning. So we are unraveling the entire system. The only way to add conditioning is to believe our thoughts. So when I say don't believe your next thought, it means the same thing as surrender. When we take on no burden for our life, then we don't need to believe any concepts about how to run it or what is good and what is bad. And then we see that actually this surrender and self-inquiry are one. Because as we are not attaching concepts, yet this I am remains, which is the fruit of our inquiry anyway. We can also come to the point where we see I am aware of this presence, which is the highest truth. That's why it is said that ultimately surrender and self-inquiry are one. And this is now our experience also.
Yes, Father, because just something's just fallen away. It felt like a concept. It felt like another layer.
Very good. So now don't attach anything to yourself. No concept attached to yourself. Become concept free, even from the concept of concept free. It's okay.
It's strange, Father, that the question I had in mind since yesterday did not even come up. But
So the point
yeah,
is,
something
as
feeling
you come to
free.
satsang, then your perspective shifts automatically to a higher plane, and then that which seems so relevant doesn't seem as important now. It doesn't feel like such a big deal.
Yeah, because this is the truth. And fixing the untruth doesn't make sense at all.
Yes. So anything that we attach to I am is untruths. All thoughts are lies.
Thank you, Father.
So welcome, my dear. Very happy.
Namaste, Father.
Namaste.
Father, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes? Yes.
Um, so
Namaste.
Father, regarding this witnessing thing, I have couple of questions, like which kind of like I have like this like burning questions, I would say. Um, so when we have a thought, like it's already we are with the thought, right, Father? Because it doesn't come as kind of like as a packet, like waiting somebody to open it. It's kind of already it's purely naked and we are completely with that thought. I mean, I know like what the thought is.
Yes. And yet
So
there
so
is a can go slowly. So a thought can come. Any energetic appearance can come. You see? And with the coming of it, there is a knowing of it on its own.
Mhm.
Right?
Yes.
And yet there is a force or energy called attention, which can be seemingly more on it or less on it. You see? So the movement of attention is possible either to external appearances or to these internal appearances like thoughts, emotions, sensations.
Mhm.
So the play of attention can go on, and that which attention is not fixated on strongly, that seems mild in our experiencing, and that which attention is fixated on more strongly seems like a stronger experience for us.
So it's kind of like there is still like so the one who knows know that there is a thought has a power to stay how much he or she wants to stay with that experience, like having the attention on it or like withdrawing the attention from it. I mean the belief from it.
Yes. So this is very interesting contemplation, and we were just one of the days we were contemplating this together after satsang, which is that the power of attention is controlled. Is it controlled by beingness or by awareness? You see, and then we see that attention is needed only for the phenomenal expression. You see, so the sense of giving control, the sense of giving more or less attention seems to belong to being. Attention is so intimate that it seems to be reporting back to awareness itself. Actually, this is where the boundary of beingness and awareness starts to blur a bit. You see, when we contemplate this question, then it is when we come to the being awareness itself, but seems to be operating as if it is the dynamic aspect of it. You see, so this is beautiful if it is attractive to you. This question, who is controlling attention, I feel is a very beautiful contemplation, because in this contemplation I feel even the sense of separateness in being, the seeing of it seems to merge and become one.
So it looks like it's more the beingness is trying can have attention or withdraw the attention, but the awareness doesn't have anything to do with that, because if because I still see I can still see the withdrawing of the attention and giving the attention to that.
Yes, yes. So the being, it seems pretty clear that controlling how much attention goes to what in this phenomenal realm. And yet we also have the experience where we can say, let's bring the attention to being. Now the presence of being is being reported to what? When we bring our attention to being, the presence of being, this is being reported to what?
It's to the one which is watching, like seeing, noticing.
Yes, and this one is what? Is it not awareness?
Yes, that is always there.
Yes. So this one that is always there, is it only when our attention is on being that the content of the attention now is being brought to this awareness itself? And all the other time when it is used for phenomenal perceiving, it is taken by the being. You with me in this question?
Yes. So and sometimes like just for a fraction of a second, or maybe I find like there is no me, and then there is a kind of like a very pain, which is like this me wants to have a ground to stand on and doesn't find anything, and there is just a kind of like so much of fear, so much of pain. It's kind of like the screaming somebody, like just want to hold something, some pointer, something, just want to stand on something like.
Yes. Yes. So at least this pain or this fear is a phenomenal experience. But the one that is screaming and saying, I'm in pain, I have so much fear, this one is not even a phenomenal experience. We cannot find this one phenomenally also.
No.
You see, only the voice is experienced phenomenally. But the rest of it, the mouths, the face, the body of this non-existent person is not a phenomenal experience. So it uses whatever is coming up in the appearance to try and push its agenda. You see? So it's pushing the agenda of saying, oh, see, there's fear. Therefore, you must be a person. I am feeling fearful. Only a person can feel fearful. You see, it's selling you this story
Mhm.
without ever showing you the face of this person, isn't it? So now we see that that's why I call the person a second level delusion or a second level illusion. We cannot even find it at this realm of phenomena, not in the realm of atoms or molecules, neither in the realm of inner perception. We do not find this person. You see? So that is the biggest irony, isn't it?
Yes.
So the truth is just here. Awareness is just here. Being is just here. Then, in the light of being, all this phenomenal play comes. You see? But what are we believing ourselves to be? Not that which is always here, irrespective of phenomenal play or not. Not something even in the phenomenal play, but actually something which is not even here, that we are believing ourselves to be. A person. That is Maya. You see, this is the Leela. To have this divine hypnosis that we can believe ourselves to be something which is not even here phenomenally. Forget that which we truly are, which is irrespective of phenomenal appearance or not. That is the funniest thing. Uh,
Because Father, like morning, I got up and I found like is it my voice echoing? Like you can see my voice echoing. Um, so Father, like this morning I got up and then I was kind of like got up and suddenly like I had a dream, and then because when we dream we don't use any sense organs. It's just like the mind, like the pictures, the thoughts, or whatever it is coming. It's the same thought which comes up in the waking state, or like when we wake up. So this mind says like that one which I saw in the dream, it was a dream and it's nothing real. But this waking, whatever it is, blabbering, it's true. I mean, how is it? It's the it's like the same thing which was in the dream, and it's just like telling it's a dream, and in the waking step it is blabbering. It's saying like it is real. I mean, there is no difference between that in the dream blabbering and that one which is in the mind.
yes,
And then this sense organs like this eyes and this, it says like whatever you see outside it's not you, so this is of no use. Then this eye, then this ear, this whatever you're hearing out, it is not you because they are out. Then these are all useless now, these organs. But again this blabbering mind which is saying it is true, it is like telling this dream is untrue, this is true. I mean, this everything is looks like something is like a big trap. Somebody is trying to convince something, this is not, this is not, this is not.
yes, yes. And the way to not fall into the trap is to not believe anything that the mind is saying. If you don't believe this blabbering voice, then what is the trouble? Where is the separation?
Yes. Yes, Father. Yeah, I did realize that I got into the trap and I identified and I pulled like trying to do it. And then the simplest thing is like when I follow, like don't follow the thought, it's just so peaceful. Even if it says like try to analyze it, do this, because I see like the more the thing is like even it try to analyze something, get into the system, try to understand, that is a trap actually. I got into that trap and thought like let me go and analyze and find what it is I am, but it took me to some other world.
Let me help you with this one
Sure.
because this one can cause some trouble. I know this. So, when we say contemplation here, it is different from how the word contemplation is usually used in the world. In the world, when something is contemplated upon, it usually means that we are sitting and thinking about it. You see? So when we say analysis, contemplation like this, it is sitting and thinking about it. You see? But when we say contemplation, it is not sitting and thinking about it. It is just looking at what is. You see, so we can what is the difference between attention and belief? There is no thinking which can help you with this contemplation. It might help you with the reporting of it, which is not so important actually. You see? So no thinking can help you with the contemplation, which is what is the difference between attention and belief. But directly it can be seen. So when we say contemplation, we are talking about the direct looking, appearances, these primal forces, including attention and belief. So when we contemplate into the nature of truth, then it is the looking at the nature of what is, without any mental preconceptions, any mental judgments. Just this is beautiful contemplation, and it's not tiring. It's not that analyzing mentally, saying, okay, this, therefore this, therefore this, therefore this must be this. You see, that is all mental, not doing this kind of analysis. We're just checking. We're just looking very simply, very effortlessly, actually. You see? So let go of all sorts of mental analysis and remain with your direct experience, your direct checking. And this goes from this kind of intellectual to true contemplating of the nature of reality.
Thank you, Father.
Thank
Thank you.
you, my dear.
Thank you.
Can I come up?
You can come, my dear.
Hello.
Hello.
Something got triggered with Puravi. I don't know what. Can you understand me probably? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
yeah, but just little slower is good.
Okay. Sorry. This conversation, maybe it sounds totally crazy now what I'm saying, but I mean, why so much talking about person? It seems like this is somehow it's really, it's just not there. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying right now. It doesn't matter. What is here is just what is coming up. For example, before I came up, there was intense, maybe you can call it fear or something like this. And this is all. I mean, and this is just what is coming up. So this is just what is here. I mean, and that's all. That's just all. And so person thing. This talking about this person thing. And actually what is here it's just what is here. I mean, and sometimes, like now, it is something comes up, and the sense comes up. So coming up, to come up for no reason, for nothing actually, but somehow it seems, I don't know what. It's just to come up, and I don't know anything at all actually. Just what is here is just is here, sensations, and really something like wants to vomit actually, or this is just what is here. So about nothing. I
Okay.
don't know what I'm talking or why I'm talking. I just.
We can look at this. It's good. It's very good. So suppose that the psychiatrist office, psychotherapist. A psychotherapist has gone to sleep, but suppose that this is psychotherapist office, but it is group therapy. Nah? So it is group therapy. You all get together and group therapy. So one comes up and says, you're saying all of this, but I feel that I'm a cat actually. I believe I'm a cat. This is cat body. This is cat life. I have cat experiences. You see, somebody comes up like this. Huh? Then what happens? What does the psychotherapist do? Different psychotherapists have different style. So I will say, can you show me this cat? You see, and how do you pretend to be a cat? By giving belief to these cat thoughts. So we will deconstruct it over there. We will deconstruct it over there and say the only reason you're presuming yourself to be a cat is because you're believing your cat thoughts. And if you drop them and just see what is here right now, then you see that there is no cat. All there is this presence and the witnessing of this presence. So this is all that is happening in satsang. The fresh ones that come have strong beliefs about being a cat. And what is happening from here is different approaches how to counter this cat identity and to get rid of it. Now, after you see that there never was a cat, you see, the rest in the group will say, why so much talking about the cat? There is no cat. All there is just this. You see, because you have seen that there is no cat. But the one who is deeply believing in the cat, when he hears there's no cat, it just sounds like crazy talk. You see. So, therefore, it is important sometimes to look at them where they are, meet them where they are, and say, okay, now you say that I am a suffering person. So let's look at this. What is suffering? Let's inquire together. Let's see if we can find this person. And that's why we have all these tricks and tools. We say $1,000 cash prize to find the person. It's just like saying $1,000 to give you if you show me the cat. You see, I know it's non-existent. I know I will never lose that $1,000, and yet we play with these tools and tricks. You see, yeah. So now there are different types of group therapy sessions. So in this group therapy session, what can happen is that I try to meet them at a point where we can start a process of communication, which ultimately will become a communion of one. There can also be a different type of group therapy session where we can just sit and say, no, there is just no cat. If you're a cat, then if you believe you're a cat, then you're just stupid. You're just not getting it. You see, which is also okay. There are some who are attracted to that type of group therapy, which is fine. But that is not the way it is flowing from here, you see. So, so although there is no cat, and yet there seem to be a bulk of humanity which is pretending to be suffering from this cat identity, and there seems to be room for this expression which is meeting them over there and saying, okay, let's look at this together, shall we? I'm not I'm not saying that you're not getting it, just what is just is. I'm just saying, okay, you feel that you're suffering from the cat identity. Can we look together for this cat? You see? So here, from what flows here, I find this more helpful and more natural as an expression that flows from here. But I'm completely open to all different forms of expression which can play. You see, there are, in fact, most group therapy sessions are about just getting rid of the causes of suffering while keeping the presumption of you being a person still there. So it's even more personal. You see, now this is this type of group therapy. Then there are also group therapy where there is nothing which is spoken at all. In silence, the cat identity dissolves completely. So all expressions of consciousness are unique, including the uniqueness in all expressions of those who have come to the truth of what they are, who have come to the discovery that they are not cats. Even those expressions are unique. So an offering for inquiry from here would be, because this is the type of satsang that we have, is that if something is bothered, if something is bothered by a lot of talk of person, then is that, what is that?
There was something going on here about anyone here. I just want to say that, it's just, I have no words for it. I was trying to follow, to follow what you were speaking about, and and the conversation, and was trying. I know from remembering. I know that I also thought that I was a person, and and I was trying to remember how it was somehow to be able to follow what was spoken. You know what I mean? And this is just impossible, or it came out as for me to be impossible to do, and actually I also, I can see it's not about this. I don't know what is going on here. I have no idea. I just the only thing what is happening is just coming up, and even the words which are coming out, it's not about what the words is, something really behind or whatever you want. It's something very intense and energetical going on here, and I have no idea what this is, and I just use this space in a sense to, I don't know what.
Nothing wrong with this. This space can be used for whatever is coming up. It's very good. I don't find any trouble. In fact, it's very good. Even if we go back to that example of group therapy, you see, if the one that is coming with the cat identity sees also that the ones that are still sitting around have now, to varying degrees, let go of this belief in being a cat, then it is very helpful. That's why the Sangha is very helpful, because in the Sangha you will meet some who have completely let go of their identity, well, not as much as possible, you see, and some who are still at the starting point of completely believing themselves to be the cat, you see. So this creates a supportive environment which is inspiring in a way, because you see that it is possible that to function without this identity of a cat, and yet to move about and life to function on its own. So I'm very happy to hear reports from any of you, we say, but I just find that there is no person here. So why are we still talking about the person? It's not bad. I don't take it as a insult or something. I'm just saying that yes, this is very good that you say this, because it creates the realm of possibility for those who are new to see that it is possible to drop this sense of personal identity and yet to function. You see? So this is good. But I also felt like I wanted to explain why it is
Yeah.
that it is important to meet those who come fresh into satsang from where they are. You see? So at least from this expression, it feels very important to play in that way. Also, it's very important because it is important to have these tools, like don't believe your next thought, to know that it is belief which works on thoughts, which gives rise to ego. Otherwise, what can happen is that we might hear some Advaita concept which is very attractive, you see, which can be something like nothing ever really happened, which is the ultimate truth. There's no denying of that, you see. So we can hear nothing ever really happened, and that itself can be heard as a concept and believed in, you see. And then everything which is appearing in our life, unpleasantness, fighting with partner, all those, no money, all of this can happen, and the mind is saying, but nothing has really happened, nothing has really happened, nothing has really happened. And this creates a very strong dichotomy and a stronger sense of suffering, actually, you see, because as long as it is still mental, then it will not lead to the end of suffering. So it is very important, at least I feel, to share with you the entire armory of tools and thorns which are available here to remove these thorns, which prevents any of these concepts like I am that, nothing has happened, only the truth is, all of these concepts. It is prevented from taking just mentally and becomes a mental defense for the cat identity. So that is the reason why we take so much time and we break it down and we say, this is it, attention and belief. It is the belief which is adding conditioning, and it is I am that is getting conditioned, and these conditions are dropping. But ultimately, even this I am, you are not, you are the awareness of even this. I feel very, very nice when I'm able to share with you these things about how all of this play is happening. So that I feel that once it is seen, once it is imbibed, then not even the most glorious spiritual thoughts will get added to the spiritual ego. It will just be allowed to come and go. And you see the truth of what you are. Your own intuitive presence is able to communicate that without any interference or help from the identity. Yeah, did we lose Nitya? She's there. Hello. Yeah, we can ungray her. What do we say? We can allow her into the hangout. No, something happened.
Yeah, yeah. I got thrown out. So I just something wants to speak some more. I have no idea. It's what is going on for some time now is here that it seems to be important to really it's not that I have the feeling I know and I know something or so. But what seems to be important, at least here in my experience somehow, is that really just to be open to whatever comes up, and there's a lot going on here, a lot you may call it conditioning, is playing out in various forms, and a lot of triggering happens. And what is just seen with this triggering and is what is still believed here. But this belief, what is here, is not that this belief, I don't have the feeling that this belief creates a person or separate something. It's just how it is at the moment. I can say only speak from the moment. I don't know, maybe it's changing somewhere at some point. I have no idea. But even when belief is here going to something, nothing gets created. Even what I experienced was a lot of pain, especially the last days was coming up. Psychological pain a lot was, and it was just coming up and just felt, and I was looking for suffering and could not find suffering in that sense. It was just seeing that the energy of belief in it and how this creates the emotions, and just there was just openness to it, and it went on like this, and I was just watching what is going on. I mean, and but there's actually nothing to it. There's no knowing in that sense. So I'm just watching what is going on in that sense. I'm just and everything can arise, even guilt. But even guilt is just seen as that, and when looked at it, it is just crumbling. And I don't know what to say actually, but just. And also what is here is just such an intense, laying everything to the feet of the beloved, which is just all the time here, just lay everything. It's just so much love here, it's just, and so much joy and laying everything, at the feet, even if there's resistance or something like that. Really, no, there's no everything, just everything. Yeah. Oh, I'm just totally in love. Thank you. Just thank you. Thank you.
Bhagavan, can I come up?
You can come,
You
Michael.
can come, Michael. Thank you. I also felt.
Yeah, I just remembered that Nelly also wanted to come.
Oh, okay.
You can ask quickly and then we go to Nelly.
Yeah, I'm just over in 2 minutes.
Okay.
So what I want to ask is that the pure consciousness, can it also be a witness?
Pure consciousness, can it be a witness? The phenomenal perceiving. Still online? Yes. Okay. Who is the witness of phenomena? Phenomenal perception is being perceived by what? By this being itself. You see? So where it gets confusing is when you look at the seeing, the eyesight. You see? So let's use another sensory perception. When you taste a fruit, suppose you're eating a plum or a grape, you see? Who's experiencing the taste of the fruit? Is it not the same being which is experiencing it? So the content of the senses is witnessed by this being itself. You see? So that's why I use the term phenomenal perceiving, because there is an awareness, there is a knowingness of this phenomenal perceiving happening. This knowingness is untouched by the presence or absence of this phenomenal perceiving. But the phenomenal perceiving is also a functioning of consciousness itself, the being itself. I can see that you're moving, saying something, but your mic is on mute, my dear.
Yeah, Bhagwan, actually, what I was saying is that let us say there is a screen of the consciousness on which everything appears, and the movie is running, but it's a blank movie. Like, you know, somehow by mistake it is exposed, and there is nothing on this. So it is still running, but though, I mean, there is no appearance as such, other than a blank appearance. So it is not noticeable as such because there is no movement in this. There is no movement in this. So is it not being, perceived? Is it not a phenomena? I mean, the consciousness or the beingness, will it not detect it? But there is no visible change, because until there is a change, uh, the beingness cannot detect it.
Yes.
I'm not even touching the awareness, because I think awareness
It's good. We can look at
It's
this.
good. We can look at this.
So when we close
So
our eyes,
when we
we
close
see the
our
blank.
eyes,
So being is
the blank.
experiencing the blank.
So
You see, there is a knowing that this blank is experience, which is untouched by this. You see, so we won't, like you said, we don't need to get into that. But right now, if you close your eyes, the blank is seen. It's phenomenally perceived to be empty, to be dark, to be black. Okay, let's go to Nelly. She's been waiting for quite some time.
Namaste, Father.
Namaste, my dear.
So have a good
Where are you?
I'm still in Peru.
Very good.
I'm very happy to be here. Ramana's grace and also to be watching Satsang. I'm so grateful. Can you hear me okay?
Mic little closer if possible. Yeah.
Is it better now?
A little bit. Can you turn that sound towards me?
Yes, so the inquiry has gone on to if there is an I going to ashram, sitting with Ramana, and also
Yeah.
hello, I can't hear you. I lost you. Can you hear me?
Yes, the audio is not very clear. Can you say again very slowly and as loud as possible?
Okay, so the inquiry has gone on to finding if there is a person who's actually going to ashram, sitting with Ramanan, and also there's been like there's like no tolerance here anymore for any spiritual stories that the mind tries to write about, like, and I know something about something. It, I think, reached a point of no tolerance. And I just really want to expose that because I know it's not me, it's not what I am. And also, sitting in Satsang today, there is awareness of how maybe there has been some rejection of what is natural, or rejection inside on some level, maybe again because of spiritual stories or some upbringing conditioning. And I wanted to share that. And also, sometimes I get the thoughts, I should be in Bangalore, I should be with Sangha. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I should be in Satsang, and it creates this tension inside. So I just let thoughts be and know that somehow I will come when the time is right, somehow. Yes, just really wanted to share this and post it. Thank you. I can't hear you. Lost
Okay, maybe we mute. Yes, yes, yes. It is coming from your mic somehow. Some others might be around you or something. So, if it is feeling natural, just to be where you are, even phenomenally in Thiru, you're finding more openness, more spaciousness, more peace is coming to you, then you don't have to think about whether you should be here or not. Nothing is needed actually. And if you have to be here, then automatically your feet will get you here. So you just stay with this. Very good. I'm very happy to hear this zero tolerance for any stories, any ideas. So remain in this neutrality, in this emptiness, and let life unfold in its own way, just the way that it wants to. Anytime I am here, you're welcome to come anytime, but don't have to force yourself. If it is happening naturally, then you will find yourself here on its own. Otherwise, there is nothing wrong. You're at Bhagwan's feet. There is no trouble. And your inquiry is deepening. You're letting go of all ideas about yourself. It's already.
Thank you. Thank you. It's how it
Bhagwan, actually, I'm not on the chat, so I don't know who is in the queue. Can we resume?
Nelly was there. What is echo?
Thank you so much, and lots of love to everybody in Bangalore. Sending all my love to everyone also in Satsang space.
Actually, after satsang is over, after about I do.
I couldn't hear.
I was just saying that after the broadcast is over, we can bring the computer to everyone who's here and you can say hi to everyone yourself.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
I feel it's good enough for today. Thank you all so very much for being in Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Muji Ji ki Jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Stacy, for moderating. So much love to you. Thank you, my dear. We can end the broadcast now.